Where to begin? Where to begin? Again, I say this. So this is day 5 of the Jian Ghomeshi sex assault trial. So far, really, we've heard marginal evidence about any assaults and almost no evidence about sex. But today that changed. The third complainant, whose allegations form the basis of a criminal charge against Jian Ghomeshi, the fallen CBC star, took the witness stand today. And there was quite a bit of a delay because, tragically, as it turns out, though she'd given a sworn police statement where you're told you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, the witness, who can't be identified, her name is protected by a publication ban, the witness forgot a salient detail in her testimony. So the story she first gave to the police, the Toronto police, and which she repeated in the Toronto Star and elsewhere, is that she sort of knew Jian Ghomeshi only casually. She met him at a sort of arts event. They ended up in Withrow Park. They were making out. Suddenly, this will be familiar to you, suddenly she feels a hand on her throat, and she can't breathe very well, and then she feels some teeth on her neck, I think. But it's all very vague and it's not much of an assault. And even she at one point says to the police, you know, I didn't think there was anything to complain about. That's why I didn't complain in a contemporaneous way back in 2003 when this allegedly happened. Anyway, but she's asked the usual questions. She describes her relationship with Ghomeshi. She says they went out for a dinner date after that, even though she was apparently startled by this hand or hands or whatever, hand on her neck, hands on her neck, hand on her mouth briefly. She mimes this all in court today. They go out for dinner, they have drinks in a King Street bar, she goes home, she's not very impressed with him. They have one more date, I think, at a party, and he says something mean about a girlfriend of hers, like a friend who's a female, and she breaks up with him. She has no trouble breaking up with him. What she forgets to tell the police, what she forgets to tell the Toronto Star, is that after the date in July of 2003, and after the alleged choking, quasi-choking incident and the hand over the mouth incident, blah, 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 after that, and though she suggested to the police in her first interview that, you know, there's these red flags going off, and she finds him kind of creepy, and she's not going to go out in anywhere but in public with him. What she doesn't mention is the hand job. After the King Street dinner and bar, it's not, as she told the police, that she took a cab home and she went home. She took Mr. Ghomeshi with her. And there was some smooching and making out, and she masturbated him. And he fell asleep, as men for thousands of years have done in such encounters. And then she woke him up, or he woke up, and he went home. And that is the thing that she remembered only to tell the police last Friday, 3 days ago. And now she says, you know, she didn't want the Crown to get blindsided, but she didn't seem to care about the Crown being blindsided for the 16 months that this case has been building. She's been interviewed, etc. And this is the first time she mentions it. And Mr. Ghomeshi's lawyer, who elicited all this information in cross-examination, suggests, and I think very fairly, that perhaps she was aware that other complainants before her have been confronted with evidence of their omissions to the police, etc., and that's what happened here. And it's absolutely dazzling. I cannot remember a criminal case that I've covered before, anyway, where the 3 complainants have in various and very different ways all completely fallen apart in the witness stand. And she was interviewed again by the police just before going into the witness stand for all of 9 minutes. Apparently they weren't very curious about the hand job. I'm very curious about it. I'd like to know a lot more, but then I'm a swine. So we have this woman who admits rather freely to, wanting to maintain a civil relationship with Jian Ghomeshi because he could be useful to her friends' careers, and so she invited him to various things. And yet She tells the police distinctly she has no personal relationship with him. She says there's no sexual relationship with him. And she clarified today, in perfect Bill Clinton fashion, who would know? Remember Bill Clinton, it depends on your definition of the word is, when he was receiving fellatio from Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. Similarly, this witness says, well, I didn't consider it a sexual act. It was just a hand job. It wasn't sexual intercourse. And on that happy note, we adjourn for another day.